Hi guys, today I'm here with Crystal Bernauer. Did I say that right?
That's correct.
Thanks for coming.
Yes, thanks for having me.
No problem. Okay, so I just want to start with a quick introduction. Now I know that we met on Facebook because you run a very large group on Facebook.
Yes.
So just tell us a little bit about that group, how long ago you started it, and what it's for, and how you got involved in this succession.
Sure. So the group's called Windsor Essex Citizens and Businesses Against Discrimination. It's a mouthful. We started out with just businesses. I personally am a business owner myself, and I was seeing the mandates that were coming into effect. You personally were posting about businesses that weren't essential in a time when they truly were essential. So that's it was watching mentors like yourself out in the public, putting a light on some of the situations that were occurring, and I seen that they were coming up, and I thought there's no way I'm going to mandate this on people. And there was a bunch of other businesses I knew that felt the same way. So that being said, on September 1st, I started the group just to kind of get like-minded people. Wasn't really to do anything in general, but just to kind of have places to communicate and talk and see what was going on and where people were feeling. So at that point, the group kind of snowballed. Within that week, it was thousands. We were at 8,000 people.
So how many members do you have today?
Currently, we're just over 13,000 people.
Okay, so you have 13,000 members in about a month.
Yes.
That really says a lot about how people feel about what's going on.
Most definitely.
So that's really interesting. So now you told me something earlier, we were talking, and you were telling me that before you started this group, you've seen things on the internet, some of my videos and other people's videos, whatever. And just for a note, you live in Emmitsburg as well too.
Yes.
I didn't even know you lived in Emmitsburg. I didn't even know who you were until you went to the rally. And I was like, who is this? And then I mentioned, it's like, Crystal, all right, 13,000. What's going on with all these? You got 13,000 members. Anyhow, you have a big group.
Yes.
So what were you doing before this group? Because you told me earlier, that's what I wanted to get at. I just remembered what I wanted to say. You were doing a mask business or something like that before you started this group. So just tell me really quickly about that.
Well, to be honest, in the beginning, I'm sure a lot of people, we didn't know what was going on. Nobody really in their lifetime experienced anything like this. So I did work in the medical field, in the hospital and in a nursing home. And we were always trained, if there were outbreaks, to put a mask on. We were fitted for N95s, and it was just to protect the patients or any other employees in the building. So that being said, when this all happened and they said it was viral, like my instinct was, let's be preventative, let's protect one another, let's put a mask on. And that was before they even mandated it actually in our area. So I was really making them also for the nurses that were contacting me saying, we don't have equipment, we don't have enough equipment.
So you were making masks?
Yes, we were making them.
You were selling masks?
We didn't sell them. We were accepting donations to help with the supplies. So
how many masks did you make?
I think we hit over 20,000.
20,000 masks?
Yeah.
And what happened, because you did some sort of a turnaround here.
Yeah.
What happened? So you went from making masks to somehow starting this freedom group on Facebook.
Because I think as it progressed and I kept watching, and I'm sure everybody's been watching what's been going on, but as I kept watching what's going on, I was thinking, none of this is adding up. Nothing makes sense. The rules didn't make sense, And I get, nobody knew what was happening. Maybe I was giving them, the benefit of the doubt that it wasn't making sense because they were trying to figure it out. But over a period of time, it started flagging, 99% survival rate. You can go in, but if you sit down, it doesn't spread. Then I started seeing people like yourself out in the public, advocating for other people. And I'm thinking, in reality, this is true. And the one that got me was at the hair salon, saying, promoting them and sticking up for them because they feel they're essential. And to be honest with you, it might be essential to me to get my hair done.
Was that I Dare Your Hair?
Yes, it was.
Yeah,
and
I did a few businesses.
Personally, I felt my heart was broken because I didn't have to go through that with my business, but feeling that for others. So slowly it progressed. And I think what happened over time is something just didn't feel right.
So the reason I started doing those videos in the first place was because I knew that we would end up exactly where we are today.
Right, and I didn't.
And people, they didn't realize it either, but look at where we are now. If people would have, done something, I probably did that video 4 or 5 months ago.
Right.
But that wasn't the only one I've done. I've done lots of videos like that for different businesses, and I was trying to encourage people to open up, and I wasn't trying to encourage them to disobey the government, but I was telling them, you need to disobey the government.
Yeah.
Because, at some point, the government, they say absolute power corrupts absolutely, and that's a true saying, and that's what we're seeing now. So businesses still need to open. Look what they're doing to the restaurants right now.
Right.
So all these businesses are still being, somewhat throttled back.
Well, I think the biggest problem, Greg, is that it's a double-edged sword for them, right? So on one end, they have the government, down on them, and then everybody that believes that, they need to protect the public and be safe. And then on the other side, they don't feel that it's right to discriminate against anybody based on their health and medical choices. So where do you go with this? So they're kind of like in a situation, which I have compassion for them, and we don't know what our rights are, because unfortunately what's happened over time is they're being taken away under this emergency act or whatever it is the government wants to call. So then they're not sure, like, even if it's going to come through legally anymore, because they don't know if the government's going to even stand up for them, right, at that point.
Well, it's been a series of moving goalposts, that's for sure. So if you did know the law,
right,
and if you do know the law, it seems to be a moving target. Is it a moving target? Well, absolutely not. But the government is making different policies and mandates which are not the law, but they're carrying them out as law.
Right.
And if people believe their law, then I guess perception is reality, right?
Exactly.
So if people believe their law, then I suppose they might be law in your mind, and if people act on those laws.
I think the biggest thing too is the media runs one narrative. So it's hard to even stand when your conscience is telling you something's not right. So it's not even about thinking like, oh, the government's out to get us. It's literally just watching what's happening. And why wouldn't you want people to talk about injuries regarding their medical procedures? Why wouldn't you want people expressing that they don't feel comfortable with a certain situation? And instead of, listening to the people, they're throwing hate at them. They're treating them as selfish. They're treating them inhumane and saying they're not worthy of anything. To me, that's a red flag. That's a red flag, because even if you don't agree with me, Greg, I'm not going to hate on you.
That's right.
And I'm going to sit here and have a conversation about it and be open to what you have to say. And they're not doing that. So that, to me, in itself is a red flag.
Yeah, so I've seen that censorship has been completely through the roof. Dissension, anyone who has any type of descending thought towards the narrative, or anyone who might disagree or who might wander off the proverbial plantation is quickly shot down.
Yes.
And that is a red flag. And that includes
scary.
Doctors.
Yes.
I've heard from many of them. That includes lawyers. That includes nurses. It includes everyone. Even
our police department. They aren't able to even speak out right now.
That's
because
right. And the
everything's
nurses have been also forbidden from speaking out, or else they will lose their jobs. In fact, one of them wrote me from Niagara, because I did a video regarding these home checks, because they were putting out they said, well, like, if you came to my house, I would have to write your name down and your phone number and report that to the government. So I made a video regarding that, and a nurse wrote me from Niagara, inboxed me privately, didn't want me to use her name, etc. I understand why.
Of course.
She told me she'd lose her license and would be fired if this got out. So she told me, yes, you're correct. This is what they're doing. This is what they're wanting us to do. In fact, I'm the one that does the phone calls. Yes. She said, if they do call your house, hang up on them. She's telling me that if public health calls your house, hang up on them.
Don't even engage.
Avoid them like the plague. If they ever come to your house, don't ever answer the door. Don't talk to anyone about any of this, because you don't have to.
And the worst part is, Greg, is being behind the scenes and knowing this, and personally myself being in contact too. How do you pretend it's not happening? And then the urgency of it, and then people constantly looking at, you're brainwashed.
Yeah, well, it's conspiracy.
Yes,
right?
exactly. Yeah. And that is infuriating in itself, because my heart hurts when somebody is reaching out to you because they can't be a voice and they need you to be a voice for them. And that's where we're standing right now. And it's not even about us at this point. It's allowing us to be the funnel for these voices, and that's what we're really truly doing right now.
Okay, so we're here on behalf of the nurses today, advocating for them.
Yes, we will be.
Not only the nurses, but the janitors, the doctors, and everyone in the healthcare field that are threatening to be fired, the ones that have already been fired. I know personally PSWs that have been fired.
Yeah.
They've been given to October the 15th to change their mind.
Yep. And get it together is what.
That's right. Get it together. Get your second shot, or else you're going to be fired. So with that, we're going to transition to the other topic, and I want to talk to you about nurses in particular, because you have a lot of background working with nurses, correct?
Correct.
So how long did you work with nurses for in the field that you were in?
Probably about 8 to 9 years I was working with nurses, and just understanding the environment and understanding even what they were going through in the beginning, you know, the scare, the everything, just wanting to truly just care about the community of people that I knew, and hence the mass group, knowing like we need to do something, like we're in this together, they're fighting for us. And now with the script flipped, it still stands true.
So the nurses that you're advocating for now, they're being threatened.
Most definitely, they're being mocked. They're being degraded.
They're being ridiculed. They're being degraded.
Doctors as well.
That's exactly right. I know a lot of doctors here in Windsor are leaving now. They're going to work in the States or wherever they have to.
Respiratory techs.
That's right. They're being fired. So now we have a healthcare shortage on our hands. I call it a created shortage.
100%.
I call it created chaos, because that's what it looks like to me. We were talking earlier in Quebec. They have 17,000 healthcare workers that are going to be sidelined.
In a pandemic.
In the middle of a pandemic. So how interesting is that? And what does that say to you logically?
Logically, this isn't about a pandemic. This is about control. This is about manipulation, coercion, and this isn't a choice. It's an ultimatum, Greg. Like,
well, of course it's not a choice, because choice is
the same thing.
That's
this is your
right.
option, not
That's right.
if you don't do it.
That's exactly right. So that's not a choice at all.
The pieces aren't fitting, and that's the problem. And it's all logical. It's not based on some, rabbit hole. I mean, we could all go down the rabbit hole, but it's not based on that. It's just based on what's right in front of our faces.
Yeah. So I take it you did some puzzles in your day.
Yep, I did. And they didn't fit. They don't fit, and you can't make them fit as much as you want to. And I tried to for a very long time, but unfortunately, now that I had the call, my heart aches for these people. So it's like, how can you just sit there and do nothing?
And it's not only the nurses. I just want to say that they're coming for everyone. They're coming for everyone who doesn't take their forced vaccination. That's just how it is. Yeah. So people need to stand up now. That's kind of why we're doing this video. So we have the nurses that were called heroes last year. The nurses were called essential. They were called frontline workers. Exactly. They were allowed to go to the front of Costco line. They were told that they were
on a platter.
They were next to God Himself. Right. And now the same media who propped them up so high has cut them from the knees down.
Yes.
And not only have they cut them from the knees down, but now they're walking all over top of them, and with some sort of glee. And it's like it's turned from you're essential and you're a hero to you deserve to be fired because you are not following
a nurse
the program.
If you're not following,
That's right.
And because the thing is, as a nurse, and one thing in the medical field is critical thinking. So if you don't feel comfortable with a certain decision, and science is based on doing your research, and these people have done their research and don't feel comfortable, and that's not going against anybody or calling anybody anti anything. That's a matter of saying, I'm making an educated decision for myself, for my family, and I expect it to be respected. And this is invasive. It isn't just a matter of putting a hat on your head. This is something that could critically hurt you, and not saying that it will. I'm just saying it could. And if that's not a risk that somebody's willing to do, that should be respected. And if others feel endangered by the virus itself and feel that the shot is for them and that's going to keep them safe, that should be respected as well. So it goes both ways. I might feel uncomfortable about the shot, you might feel uncomfortable about the virus, and I have to respect your
That's
view.
right, and it all comes down to personal choice. And that's the fundamental cornerstone of our entire society. I know your grandfather or great grandfather certainly fought on in World War II.
Yes.
Who knows? They might have been on Juno Beach or Sword Beach, wherever the Canadians were.
Yeah.
And my great grandfathers, they escaped from slavery to grab a hold of our freedoms.
That's right.
They gave us something that we can't purchase.
Yeah.
They gave us something that we can't buy.
Yeah.
And to me, it's so important because there's so many stories in my family where we haven't been allowed to be free.
That's right.
And as far as, I don't know your background,
Yeah.
but I'm sure you have some stories too, where you have family members that maybe died
Suppressed,
over in Germany
Yeah.
or in World War II or whatever. But we fought hard for these freedoms. And I mean, me personally, I have no intention of giving anything away.
No.
And that's why I've been so staunch from the very beginning of it. When I see freedom being eroded in any shape or form, to me that spells tyranny.
Yes, and I think the biggest thing too, Greg, is when people see the freedom, I keep getting, you know, on the other side of the fence is, oh, it's self-righteous and this isn't discrimination, it's just to save fires. And it's not just about that. And freedom really stands for freedom of speech, freedom of individual choice. It's not, I'm free, I'm a free person in this world. It's freedom of all of these things and unapologetically being yourself and not being discriminated based on that.
That's right.
And if I don't agree with you or whatever the basis may be, it needs to be added into that section. Medical decisions of discrimination, and the race was added, sexual preference was added. This needs to be added now to that.
The truth is, it's already in the Bill of Rights. It's just being ignored.
Exactly.
That's the truth. Now, the other part of the truth is that these freedoms that we enjoy are not given to us by government.
Yes.
They were given to us by God. These are
At birth.
inalienable
Yes.
rights, inalienable freedoms.
Yeah.
So God made me free, and
Yeah.
He made you free.
Yeah.
And the government didn't give us that freedom.
No.
Therefore, the government cannot take it away.
Yeah.
You can give it away.
That's right. And laws are there to protect us. They're
right.
not there to hinder us or stop us from being ourselves. And me not getting this shot isn't about you. If I get the shot, it's for me personally, and that decision should be solely based on the individual.
And I would support your right to do that.
Right. That's exactly what it comes down to, and that's where I get a little upset because people think, oh, you're being unruly, you're not listening to the rules. It's like, rules are supposed to be set and laws are supposed to be set in order to make a person feel freedom and to feel safe and to feel protected. And when a police officer goes in and makes an oath for his community to protect them, that means he's there to protect, or her, to protect all your rights and freedoms. And that's what that stands for.
That's right. When people rule the government, that's freedom. When the government rules people,
They're
that's called
working
tyranny.
for us. And
Well,
they
supposedly,
should
right?
be, right? And
That's
then
right.
that's just it. Going back to even the medical, they're working for us. They've been taking care of us. It's the businesses. We need one another to survive, and that's why even like in these stands, we're coming together with businesses, healthcare workers, the youth that are being affected. Everything. We all have the same goal. So no matter what's going on, the group is coming together to stand up for whatever it is that is needed most at that time.
So what are your next goals with this group? I know you're having a rally today, and hopefully there'll be a lot of people downtown. You're going to be on Tecumseh across the street from the hospital.
Yes.
So what exactly are you guys attempting to accomplish?
So what had happened was a group of nurses contacted me and gathered and said they were going to be standing out across the street, respectful to the hospital patients, workers, in a silent stand to say, we're here, you know.
Okay, so these are the heroes that contacted you?
These are the heroes.
The future zeros.
Yes, the future
Okay.
zeros contacted me.
I was thinking about getting a sign campaign that said, a zero lives here.
Yes.
Because they had signs outside.
The hero
you know,
lives here.
It said a
Yes.
hero lives here.
Yeah.
Well, now we
And
can
now
get
they
signs and
flipped
put them
the
all
script
over.
on us, right?
All
Yeah.
the people that got fired,
Yeah.
a zero lives here.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I just thought I'd throw that in.
So what it came to was they said, you know, we know there's people out there that haven't connected to us. Can you connect them to us so we can support one another, unite? And it isn't about, again, it's not about being a rebel. It's about coming together and supporting one another because this is extremely difficult. These are people's lives. The mental health and emotional setback for this is extreme. So what the group is doing is I'm making them aware they need us. And when you need us, you want us to show up, so let's show up for them and let's
we
be
need
respectful.
them too.
100% we need
them.
them. And the sad part is these people are probably the most loving, caring, compassionate people that I've probably ever spoken to.
So, and another element of this, is these people are losing their jobs.
Yep.
They're losing their income.
Yeah.
They're losing their families.
Possibly their licenses. All these years.
They could possibly be losing their licenses. They're losing everything they worked so hard for. Now, I know I worked hard in my life, and the government hasn't really, help me out with any of that. In fact, everything that I have is in spite of the government, not because of the government. So, and I'm sure these people are similar or the same. But it seems like now the government is attempting to pull the rug from under anybody's feet that does not comply.
That's correct.
And that is a shame. Yeah. It's almost October the 1st. We're in the last quarter of the year.
Yeah.
Christmas is coming up.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
They're going to fire all you nurses and all you healthcare workers, all you janitors, all you PSWs. And I'm starting to personally hear stories of people that I know firsthand that are getting fired, are getting laid off. And, you know, one of the dirty tricks they use is they're putting people on leave of absences.
Yeah.
And that's really bad because I'm not sure if they can collect unemployment or not. I'm not sure what their, if they have any recourse.
Different situations for different people, and that's the thing. I'm trying to
right.
help people. I'm trying to get them connected to lawyers. I'm trying to get them in groups where people are banding together with lawyers. It's just the whole situation is extremely stressful, difficult. The financial strain of paying for a lawyer their unions aren't doing anything for them.
Well, that's right. It's completely untenable. So it's just
it's
really
a downer
unbelievable.
Situation. It really is, and it's sad because it weighs heavy. It really does, and unfortunately, to even function knowing all of this is going on and not doing anything about it, it's heartbreaking.
It is. Now, the last point I want to make is that I've had firsthand reports of people being denied service and being denied care, being denied medical procedures, operations, etc. If they attempt to go in these hospitals and they're not vaccinated.
Right.
They are being denied care.
Yeah.
That is a fundamental right. That's a fundamental freedom.
We were given that at birth.
And I mean, does this sound like Canada to you?
No, it doesn't. And that scares me. And why it wouldn't scare other people is mind-boggling because to me, when I hear some people even say they don't deserve a bed, and I'm literally saying, everyone deserves a bed. They take care of, people that come off the street that have overdosed. Are we going to judge them based on their health decision?
They don't.
If anything, you should have sympathy for them to be in that position to begin with. So, even if you don't agree with me, have sympathy if you want. Have
because
compassion
we do take care
for
of
me.
smokers.
Yes.
We do take care of people that have
diabetes,
unhealthy
and
lifestyles.
horrible,
We take care of people that
or even diseases.
completely abuse their bodies on purpose.
Yes.
We've always done that because we're a compassionate, caring,
and that's what they're supposed
civilized society. Now, the stuff that I'm seeing here in Canada, I expect that in China. Like I expect, if you don't want a vaccine in China, I expect them to come and pick you up.
To lay it down. You didn't get your hair cut properly today, Greg.
That's right. I expect them to come and pick you up, throw you in a white van, and disappear you.
You're done.
And either when you come back, you're vaccinated, or you won't come back at all. But this kind of stuff is happening in Canada. I expect in China that they would deny you care. I'd expect in China that they would cheer and scream if you didn't listen to the government. Right. I don't know, out of fear or out of support. But either way, they would cheer and scream. But I don't expect that in our country. And our country is changing, and I'm cautioning everyone today to do whatever you can in your little piece of the world to change what's going on.
Exactly. And it truly, honestly, all it truly comes down to is being kind and compassionate. Because you don't know what somebody else is going through.
That's right.
Sorry.
And support freedom wherever you can. Because, like I said, our freedoms are given to us by God. Our freedoms are given to us by our Creator. And we've been stripped of these freedoms to some degree now. And
sorry.
I understand, I know. And like I said, I have people that I know, they're losing their jobs this week. And it's tough. And I'm being threatened with my job. Well,
Yeah.
And I don't know. Well, I guess you're self-employed, but there's so many people.
Oh no, I still get it too. There's still people out there that want to ask. If and I said
that's right.
And I get it. That's fine. Ask, and I respect you, and I respond with a respectful response. I respect your decision.
I respect to keep my medical.
But I want to keep it private, and my workers are private.
That's right.
And that's all it's about, really, is just respecting. And unfortunately, the media and the government are turning us on one another, and that's the last thing we need right now. That's completely the last thing we need right now. And I think that's the biggest message is that this group and all the groups and all the people that are trying to lead everybody are doing it from a place of love and compassion and respect. And we're just asking for the same in return. We're not asking for anything more than what they're asking for.
That's right.
We don't want them to comply with what we're doing.
No, whatever choice you have, I support you. I mean, I don't agree with you.
Yes.
But I do support you.
Yeah.
You're an adult. I'm an adult. And it's always been like that in this country. And that's what is called freedom. Now, if we're in Afghanistan or any other country out there, and that's what separated Canada, that's what separated the United States, that's what made America so great, is you could have an idea and you could go try that idea. And if you failed, you'd fail miserably. And people would look at you and say, well, you failed.
Yeah.
And you could get up and try something else again. You could do whatever you want. And if you succeeded, you could succeed. And you could become wealthy, financially independent. But today, that's just not the case. People from other countries, they're sort of looking at our side of the country now like, maybe I don't want to go there. And I personally know people that have moved out.
Yeah.
I'm a U.S. citizen as well as a Canadian citizen. And I got to tell you, I've been eyeing that border too.
They've been contacting me from there saying, what is going on? Why are you guys just laying down and taking this? Why aren't you guys standing up? But, and I'm going, maybe that's part of the problem. Canadians are too nice. I don't know. And, and people just want to comply because they think if they comply, it'll end.
Well, they've been thinking that for 18 months now.
Right.
And the more people have complied, the more the goalpost has moved and the more restrictions that are laid upon them. And I try to tell people this from the very beginning. And it was hard, the message I had 18 months ago, because people called me a conspiracy theorist. And I told them, guys, there's quarantine hotels coming. And they said, well, no, you're crazy. There's not quarantine hotels coming. I said, well, yeah, I read it in the government literature. They're like, no, you're a lunatic. You're a conspiracy theorist. And then the quarantine hotels came, and they start tossing people in those quarantine hotels. Right. And I told them, guys, they're going to lock the churches down. Sure enough, they locked the churches down. I told them, guys, they're going to shut your business down. Sure enough, they shut the business down. And we're still feeling the repercussions of that. And so many businesses have shut down. And guess what? A lot of those businesses have never, ever, ever reopened and never will. So we've lost a lot of small businesses throughout all this. There's been so much havoc created on our country because of I don't want to be rude and say the virus is fake or a fraud, but the response to the virus is certainly fraud. 100% fraud. The government response to what is going on to a virus that is 99.6% recovery rate. Correct. And for people our age, it's so small. And for people 18 and under, it's almost at 0%.
Right.
And the response to that has been completely illogical.
Well, and the other issue is they don't want to show the other side of what's happening.
You can't see it.
You can't see it. So when you talk about it, and like I said, people are funneling through us with this information. And I know personally a woman that her husband was severely ill from COVID, and she still stands with us because she has seen adverse effects from the shots. Yeah, she has seen that this is coercion, and she has seen that what they're doing on a moral level it's not okay. It's not about COVID right now. It's about what they're doing to us in an overall stance is not acceptable. It's not acceptable,
especially after I've read the VAERS report, and it's not pretty. I just want to touch on that, and we're gonna move on. But I have read the VAERS report, and it's not good.
No.
So we're just gonna end it off here.
Yeah.
It's been a great interview. I really appreciate you for coming over.
Thank you for having me.
And I just wanted everyone to get your perspective, because you've had a lot of time with the healthcare field, dealing with the nurses. I just wanted them to get a true perspective of what the nurses are going through and the other side of the story, because you're not going to hear this side of the story on CTV. You're not going to hear this side of the story on NBC, CBC, or any of those other Canadian or American news channels, because it has been all suppressed. It's been all government sponsored, anointed, appointed, and approved.
Correct.
And if it's not, you're probably not going to see it unless you do some serious searching around for it.
Yep.
So,
before you close,
yep.
Roman will be going up with a jobs and jabs bill for us.
Roman Barber, that's
And
right.
if you haven't signed it and you don't know where it is, get in touch with Greg, get in touch with me, get in touch with the group or anybody that might have heard about it. We need this bill signed. It's going to try and protect the people that are losing their jobs right now.
And what a shame that we have to have another law to protect the laws that are already in place. Because really, if you read the law, there's really no need for a bill.
No, most definitely not.
Because the law is already in place for all of our protections already.
Exactly. So,
and it's a shame that we have to bring in another law.
Exactly.
To protect the existing law.
So
It
we're
already
fortunate
says
enough,
what you can
Roman will take this bill October 5th with a leader of the medical staff, because they've been spearheading together. They will be going up personally to Toronto to deliver this to Mr. Doug Ford and let him know that the people would like to speak and they do not consent.
So this is going to be for all of Ontario, not Canada. It's not federal. It's
No,
provincial.
this is provincial.
Okay, good.
So he's doing it for us. So if you haven't signed it, sign it, get it out, share it. Like I said, just reach out to us and we can.
Guys, sign that bill. Get it signed. Is there any other numbers you have or anything that you want to say to them about calling Doug Ford or?
You know what? I that type of stuff, I'll leave that to you. Okay. I just want to do the legal stuff of what I know. I don't like speaking on behalf of anything I don't know. Trust me.
Good.
So that's the main thing I know right now.
That's great advice, by the way.
Just saying. So I don't want to give any advice that I can't speak on behalf of.
So sign the bill.
I do know, Roman, sign that bill. The more numbers we get, they are forced to look at it.
Do you have any idea of how many numbers you have already?
Honestly, I don't. I'm to speak with Roman personally today at 10 a.m. So I'm gonna ask a few questions myself, ask him what it is that we can do. I want to hear it straight from his mouth so that I can give the proper message, not something I read on the internet, not fake news that we're getting from anywhere else, straight from Roman. I'm going to get the information from him today, 10 a.m. And I'm gonna get it back to you guys, or get it to Greg so he can.
Well, yeah, we're both.
Yeah,
and it's not platforms, and we reach
one leader
people.
over the other. It's all the leaders coming together. You reach your.
Hey, like I said, I didn't even know who you were 2 weeks ago.
Exactly.
So, and you probably know. Well, I guess you knew who I was, but I didn't know you.
I was watching you.
I had no clue. So, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks again, Greg.
All right.
And keep up what you're doing.
Okay, thank you.
My name is Andrew Kaufman. I'm a medical doctor and board-certified forensic psychiatrist. This pandemic is not a real medical pandemic. The COVID-19 vaccine is not proven safe or effective because there has not been enough time.
Hi, my name is Hilde Smet. I'm a Belgian medical doctor, and I'd like to say that the new COVID-19 vaccine is not safe and that there is no global medical pandemic. For almost 20 years, the pharmaceutical industry has been trying to develop corona vaccines, but never managed, because they saw in the animal trials that there were serious side effects, autoimmune disorders, when the animal was exposed to a new wild-type virus.
Doctors aren't allowed to question COVID-19 in public. Material containing the truth about the alleged disease and the vaccine is banned. In the last year, I've been demonized and lied about, and a 50-year career and reputation trashed by those promoting a pandemic that never was and a vaccine that was never needed. The whole COVID-19 scam is, as I said in March 2020, the greatest hoax in history. The principle of informed consent is essential in medicine, but patients now having vaccines can't give informed consent because they aren't being informed.
My name is Professor Dolores Cahill. I'm a molecular biologist and an immunologist, and we have good news. The coronavirus and the lockdown was not as severe as was thought. We know that we can treat the symptoms of COVID-19 very successfully with vitamins D, C, and zinc, and with very safe medicines. So therefore, the lockdown and the measures like quarantining, social distancing, and masks were not necessary. And also, a vaccine is then also not necessary. There has never been a licensed RNA vaccine, and this is not because there have been many clinical trials, but that in the safety studies there was significant adverse events and death in the animals that were used in these studies over the past 20 years.
My name is Dr. Carrie Made. I am an internal medicine physician from the United States of America. I've owned my own clinic, and I've been medical director of 2 different clinics, as well as being an attending physician for medical students over the last 19 years. I'm here to tell you that there is no worldwide pandemic for COVID-19. We're using testing mechanisms called PCR that have never been indicated or created to diagnose any infection. This is not the way we should be diagnosing. In addition, hospitals and doctors are getting financial incentives to diagnose COVID-19. On top of that, we have multiple lab errors happening around the world over and over, indicating more false positives. On top of that, I am here to tell you that I will not take the COVID-19 vaccine, and I will not recommend the COVID-19 vaccine for any of my patients.